Starting. Here we go. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Amazing Plastics Across the Pond Hangout. I'm your host, Scratch and Jack. As you can see the light coming from here, it's like the door is open, great weather, it's springtime, and I'm wearing underwear. Amazing Plastic is a Google Plus community of scale models of all shapes and sizes, talents, genres, and interests who like to share their tips and tricks with one another and to learn more about their craft and celebrate one another's scale modeling achievements. The Sunday Hangout, as well as with the Across the Pond Hangout, like right now, is an extension of the Amazing Classic, the Scale Model Show, which Richard has been having trouble broadcasting only because he has personal issues to attend to, and our wishes and prayers are going out to him that his family is safe and healthy. And today we have joining us members of Amazing Plastic to talk scale modeling. Let's get started. And today we have Andy. How you doing, Andy?
I'm all right. How are you guys doing?
Oh, very good. How about everybody else? Everybody else doing all right?
We're doing fine.
Very well, thank you.
Yep.
Very well.
Okay, Andy, what's on lunch today?
Revell BF109.
Oh?
Which is...
it's the F24. Nice.
Yeah. It's going to be slightly modified.
Okay, you're turning into the E or the F troop? Probably the E troop, then, yeah. No, neither? Huh.
It's getting a sci-fi twist.
Okay, fair enough. Fair dues.
A bit steampunky looking, off another favourite film of mine. So, see how it goes.
Well, I also have a screen share here of a winter tank. Tell us about it. What is it?
That is Tamiya's new release of the Nashorn artillery piece. It was a fantastic kit. Everything seemed to go well so easily. No filler on anything, nothing. It just went together beautifully. Did quick base, made some snow up and everything. Did some plenty of different layers of oils and washes on the tank itself, and then did the crew. Spent hours painting the faces, and then realised one of them was holding up a pair of binoculars, so you don't see his face. And the other one's looking down the gunner's sight, so you don't see his face. So
he's in here somewhere. I know he's in this line of pictures. But I guess not.
Nice and cool.
Yeah, I was going to say the Nashorn was originally a assault gun. Then it was retrofitted into an artillery piece.
How did you do the snow?
The snow is white glue, PVA, 50-50 with water, and then get some baking soda, baking powder, sprinkle some of that in. I'd say with your water and PVA mix, 50% on top of that of the powder. Mix it in, keep mixing it, and it's almost like thin cream. It's quite
like icing.
Very, very fluid, very liquidy. And when you put it down the base, you're almost brushing it on, painting it on, and it looks like white PVA in water. But when the whole thing of baking soda is it releases carbon dioxide to make your cakes rise, so this thing releases and it'll literally like expanding foam.
Yeah,
but it fluffs up. It's brilliant.
Yeah, I used it on my Imperial Walker.
Yeah, it's such a great effect to do.
And then you can take the dry. You can take.
I'm glad it's an effect, not real, that you actually have heat in your home. So that's good to know.
Well, you can also take dry baking soda and use it as a weathering powder.
Okay, next up we have Christian. How you doing, Christian?
Hi, everyone. I'm very good back here in Germany. And right now I just found this this very, very old kit of the Enterprise D, and it's giving me the creeps. I've drilled out so far 364 windows, and there are a couple more to go. And I lost it for a few days. And now I kept going with and tried today. I tried to fill the windows because I don't think they won't look any good if it kept like that. And I tried to fill it with maybe you know the stuff, ease water, E to Z water, which needs to be heated, then it becomes liquefied, and then you pour it in. But it's since they're all basically just tiny slits, the stuff won't like flow into that. So I have to try and have to keep trying to get it to work properly. So that's what I'm doing right now after leaving the Voyager for a while. So that's my stuff here.
Are you trying to do windows? Put the windows in. You want to go with clear nail acrylic. You can get it from eBay, and you get the hardener and the powder.
Nail acrylic would also be at the drugstore or wherever women buy the stuff. It's nail acrylic.
You just take.
I was
gonna say you just take regular blue painter's tape. Put it on the outside of the model. Pour the powder in, and then you just drip the hardener in. Let it harden. Do all the windows under that strip of tape, then peel it away slowly, and then that's it. Your windows are done.
It's very similar. It's very similar to dental acrylic, but dental acrylic is harder than the styrene around it. But the nail acrylic is not as hard. It's a little softer, like the styrene.
But the nail acrylic doesn't heat up as bad. The nail acrylic doesn't heat up as bad as the other one.
That's very true too. That's very true too.
You got to worry about the heat melting the plastic, you know.
Yeah, so far it didn't melt anything, but really to get it flowing into the windows, you have to really open them up from the other side, which makes it difficult for the really small windows here. For example, these in groups of 3, you can't, make it like to get the stuff to flow in. So I tried the nail acrylic. I've seen that before, but I forgot all about it. So
yeah, I used it on my Enterprise. I've used it on my Klingon. Let's see. I'm also planning on using it on the Cardassian Galore classes and the Reliant when I get around to doing the windows on those.
So how are you doing, Danny?
I'm doing good, thank you, Jack. Been busy, extremely busy. I've got 2 Galores to do, a Reliant to do. I'm waiting on some bursts to get to me. A friend of mine, she does custom sculpts, and she's done one of the Aliens versus Predator, where the Predator is standing on like a hill mound, and he's got an alien in his left hand and a human in his right hand. And she's hopefully waiting for the project to be picked up by Fine Molds. And if it does, then that's going to be probably one of her best sells. She mostly does single head bursts of people like, not to be horrible, but like Churchill, Hitler, Goering, famous World War II, World War I people. Her biggest sellers is actually Montgomery for some reason. Everyone likes old Montgomery for some reason. And she's going to be sending me that.
I'm going to backtrack.
I'm
sorry, go ahead.
She's going to be sending me her first one of the Alien one for me to paint up for her to send back to her. So that would be fun. I've also doing a photo slide tutorial on how to paint faces and hands and get the lighting just right and things like that for people. I know Tony McCash posted a link to a Japanese website that has a photo tutorial in it, but I'm translating it for people who can't read Japanese. So.
Oh, you read Japanese?
Yes, I read Hiragana, yes.
So, is there anything else you can't do?
I can't touch my left. I can't make my left hand touch my left elbow. No matter how much I try. Can't do it. But, no, yeah, that and I've just been extremely busy, so. Thanks for asking.
How are you, Craig? Craig?
Hiya, you alright?
How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. How are you guys?
Doing really good. Can you do me a favor?
What's that?
Can you explain this? Look at
Yeah. What do you want explaining?
Tell us what it is and what special you did to it to make it look so awesome.
It's the Tamiya 135 Tiger. I believe you're calling me on my phone as well. Someone. Tamiya
Randall's
135 Tiger. Yeah, it was Randall, yeah. Me and Andy decided that we got a little bit bored doing sci-fi, so we kind of egged each other on doing a little bit of a mini tank build together. It's his natural one. So we had a bit of a roll, didn't we? The kit had to cost no more than 20 quid, but anything else goes. So yeah, I bought the Zimmerit kit, the Tamiya hop-up parts for it, which is what's on that. Which is really funky because it's like a decal rather than PE or anything. It's like a vinyl sticker. I've got the stuff here. If you give us 2 secs, that's the stuff there. That's one of the side panels, and it is literally just an embossed like vinyl, which is pretty cool. But it's an exact fit being Tamiya, so you've got to cut it to the exact dimensions as it is, or it looks crap. And then the rest of it is just painting and sticking bits on. The log actually come off of an army tree. So, like I said in my post, it's a NATO side skirt. I don't know what else to say about it.
Well, good. I mean, that's plenty. I mean, that's an awesome build. When I first saw it, I was just like really enthusiastic about it because I know you as not an armor guy, but you certainly know your way around a model kit if it's anything different than you're usually used to doing, which is sci-fi.
Sorry. Yeah, I've done sci-fi as a change. I'm bored of sci-fi a little bit now. I've done an Enterprise, I've done a Voyager, I've done an X-Wing, a TIE Fighter, and an Aliens APC, so I thought, I fancy doing something real now. So that's where I'm at with it.
Sure. I get bored and I build cars, and apparently I do a better car than a Starship, so.
I know that feeling.
How you doing, Heath?
Well, I'm very well, thank you, Jack, and how's everybody tonight?
Wonderful.
Pretty good.
How are you, Lou?
Pretty good.
Well, feeling better now. I got my coffee.
So
Danny, I've been meaning to catch up with you, but I can wait till after the hangout. And Andrew, it's not good to see you. Craig, nice to meet you. I haven't met you before, I don't think.
Hi.
And Randall, I've seen you before. How are you?
Hey, how are you?
Good night, Grandpa. Good night, Mary Ellen.
Good night, John.
Ethan, have you got a new studio?
Oh, I've just basically turned the table around. Instead of having it like the light over my head, I've turned it on a 90-degree angle.
Well, there's one thing that Heath.
On my head.
There's one thing Heath is not.
So I can get my glorious features.
Yeah, but there's one thing Heath is not telling you is that the Earth spins faster in the southern hemisphere than it does in the northern hemisphere.
Yes, you're talking to me tonight, my time, which is 8 o'clock in the morning, your time. So, hello to the future.
Yeah, how did the day turn out? I mean, should I bother getting up?
Yeah.
It's very wet over here, but over there in America, it should be nice and fine with a top of 73 degrees.
Well, see, he looks like a weatherman with that background. That's the only reason. That's where I was going with it.
Hell no, it's been raining non-stop for like a day and a half here. God, I want it to stop.
Oh, well, in
It's one of rain.
this part of America, you'll have snow.
I'd rather have the snow than the rain.
What's your build right now there, Heath?
What?
Now that we got the weather forecast, what's on your bench?
Not a lot really, except I got a new model, as I probably shown last week, but it's my Qantas A380, that's about it. I've been so busy this week, I haven't been able to do my part 4 of my Enterprise build yet. Been like, but it will be done, and I'll get it done, but I've got about 4 models on my bench at the moment. Of course, if you count the Enterprise and the Klingon battlecruiser that's in the box, plus my Aston Martin, plus my Batmobile, and my Colonial Viper, that's my bench. Oh, plus this little guy.
It just cracks me up that we're all grown men playing with toys. I just love it.
you only live once. Life's
Oh,
too short.
absolutely.
Enjoy yourself.
Well,
I always felt that childhood was a little too short. So
my wife always
to me,
says.
it seemed like I went to first grade, and all of a sudden puberty was there. You know, it was kind of weird.
Mhm. Well, you see, the thing is, my wife always says, boys don't get bigger; their toys just get more expensive.
Oh, yes.
Accumulate.
And she is right. I'll give her that. She is right. Our toys do get more expensive.
Yes, our toys do get more expensive, and yes, I don't know where we find the money to do it, but we do it.
Yep. That right there is the definition of passion. It doesn't matter. You'll make it work. You'll make it happen.
You sort of like have to
Well,
smudge the
speaking of-
numbers just a little bit.
Speaking of passion, Lou does something that I don't know if I would have a passion using, but developing. Lou here is the developer and the creator of Aztec Dummy masks, and he is a sponsor of his product. Anyway, is a sponsor of Amazing Plastic. How you doing, Lou?
Doing real good, Jack. How you doing?
Very good. So, what is on your bench?
Oh, what isn't? I'm
really.
cleaning up. I got my four kit build done, so I'm cleaning up. I'm down to only what I need to get done for Wonderfest. So I'm trying to focus on just getting that stuff done. Working on the Kirk and Spock maquettes right now, and I'm very interested in what Danny has to say about face painting, because that's where I'm at. Back around here. Grab that. Whether you see the.
Yeah. Yep.
Not a bad little spot, but and the Kirk head.
The pimp of space himself.
Yes, well, he had a bit of an accident. Unfortunately, he only has the front of his head. The back, since it doesn't show, doesn't get painted.
Come on, Klingons, you can
big
do
old gaping
better.
hole.
I mean, come on, Klingons are a bad shot, but geez, you could have done better than that.
Well, actually, stormtroopers are a bad shot.
The biggest fun I had this week was getting these bubbles into the helmets, because those, if you saw my video, these are a one-shot deal. I only had one bubble, and they were custom made for it, so I kind of had to make sure it was close to right the first time. So.
That looks good,
That's been the fun.
You know the old trick about doing windows, right, on model kits? You use PVA glue.
Right.
And once you've got it set where you want it, and you let the PVA glue harden, you then take super glue and just go around the outside edge from the inside, and then that holds it permanently.
The nice thing about this vac form, it doesn't have the same problem that styrene does with the CA. It doesn't fog up.
Yeah.
You can actually use CA on this without worrying about it, fogging the rest of it or screwing it up any way that it would with normal styrene. But I used just a little bit of spot CA just to hold it in the actual place. But then when I went to secure it, I went with a 1 minute epoxy, clear epoxy.
Ah, okay. Nice. And just clean it up with acetone if you spill some. Yeah.
Exactly. I'm so afraid of scratching the bubbles or fogging or getting a glue bob on it.
Well, that's what Scotch Guard's for. Come on.
What's that?
Scotch Guard's for.
You want to know the funny thing?
Always.
It's funny that Lou mentions about the Kirk and Spock maquette, because Star Trek the motion picture is on down under here tonight.
Well, actually, yes, those, and it's from that movie. But get my best references from Wrath of Khan. Because they used the suits in Wrath of Khan for a whole lot longer, and in bright light where you can actually see the detail.
Yeah.
Well, when we get together and before the broadcast, we all talk models at one time, and I told James to share it later. Hi, James.
Yeah, the Utilities Commission decided to cut my power for a few seconds, so that made everything reboot.
Okay, and what do you have? Now you can show off what you're showing off.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've started working on the exhaust stacks on the engine.
Oh,
that is just awesome.
That's cool.
It's exhausting just to look at.
Yeah. And lots of things in this. like this is pretty well the method that I've been using to keep track of all the pieces.
Mm-hmm. I still think it would look better.
You guys and your special tools.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still think that engine would look prettier with a set of hooker headers.
Yeah.
You know?
And the main body of your build is? The main body of your build
Yeah.
is? Can you show it?
It's well, the main body is my is my ME329, which I'm hoping to get back to again once I get these stacks done.
Okay.
So that I can go back to the wings.
I swear you'll be an expert at rolling your own cigarettes after this.
Rolled enough tubes for this build, that's for sure.
Yeah, I know what you mean. There was no drug reference in that whatsoever. How you doing, Randall?
Not too bad, Jack. Yourself?
I'm doing pretty good. It's spring. I love it.
Yeah. I just wish we could get spring weather here. We've been getting nothing but rain for the last week.
It is spring. Oh, we're waiting for it. It was supposed to start raining at 2 p.m. yesterday, and it hasn't rained a drop. And it still wants to rain, but I'll be surprised if it does. What do you have on your bench?
A couple of things. Let me see. First of all, my normal.
Oh, Galactic Viper.
Yep.
That's the new one.
It's getting close to getting finished.
Very nice. And which kit is that?
Looks like the new one.
Scale.
Is it the Mobius?
It is indeed, yep.
Oh, wow.
Did you do any pre-shading, or is all that just weathering?
I thought it would have clear parts. It doesn't?
No.
It does, yeah. It just hasn't it's not masked. I haven't taken the mask off the clear yet.
Okay.
So, because I've still got a couple of stages of weathering to do yet on it. I'm going to use pastel powders, chalk weathering, and final a couple of clear coats. And hopefully that'll be it done. Well, apart from the stand, she's still a bit, well...
Nicely put together, man. It's really beautifully done.
Thank you.
I'm jealous.
Yeah, me too. What scale is it, by the way?
172, I believe he said.
Oh,
132.
Oh, 132, sorry.
Yeah,
Correct. 132.
okay.
Yeah, every Viper I've always done ends up blown up with a Cylon chasing it for some reason. I just like the Cylons.
Yeah, I think actually the bad guys usually get the coolest looking ships in these shows.
They do. Come on, they do. Everyone knows this.
Yeah.
So it makes up for them being evil.
Yeah, that's it. It's the same reason that us Brits always play the bad guy in the movies. We just sound too cool.
Don't even go there. Oh God. Every time I go grocery shopping, I get stopped. Why are the bad guys always British? I don't know, because we make good bad guys.
Because Americans fear intelligence.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. We have a better educational system. I don't know.
You sound more intelligent, and we're afraid of that.
All of a sudden, I am picking up a blank screen here, and because I wanted to share some stuff, and my computer's been going crazy. If I've been chopping in and out sound-wise, that's because I've been having these windows open for quite a while. Let me see if I can get something going here. Here we go. This is Wild House Models from Neil Wooding, and he is quickly becoming a model producer, and he does produce... come on, Danny. Do you see this Hangout that we have here? I can't get rid of it.
Yeah, I know.
There we are. He is now producing resin kits. You can find him on the Google Plus community under Wild House Models. And he and his buddies had created an entire new universe of sci-fi models. And the one thing he has right now is the stasis pod and some electronics he's putting together there. and that is the artist rendition of the stasis pod that they're going to produce. And what else do I have here to share? Good question. See, my computer is very slow right now because I've got all these things.
I was going to say, if you don't mind, Jack, I have something to share with the guys. If they're interested.
Are the guys interested?
Yeah, why not?
What a response.
Okay.
And let the computer reboot, you know.
This is my friend who done the Aliens and Predator molds. He's doing his own creatures for other sci-fi games. And he's got his own Kickstarter going on right now. And he does them in a very large size. If you're a fan of Warhammer 40,000, you'll know what these are, which is the Greater Demons. And he's also he does dragons for Dungeons and Dragons and things like that. And on their Kickstarter page, and it is kickstarted. They've already met their pledge goal, of £30,000. They've already met it. They exceeded it. And when you go there, they've got a whole bunch of different things you can get when you kickstart it. But they've also got these ones where they will do one-off sculpts for you above a certain pledge amount. And I've already pledged to these guys because I just believe in their products.
Well, that's what I wanted to bring up is that Neil has, I'm not even sure, he has a Kickstarter type thing going on.
He's got an Indiegogo. He's got an Indiegogo.
Indiegogo.
Yeah.
Indiegogo, yeah.
And I've already done a video based for, I did a video for him to go on my YouTube channel. But they also do like undead dragons and stuff like that. So if you play like Warhammer 40k, Fantasy, War Machine, things like that, they literally will do you a creature just for you. And they're that pretty. Right. These guys are cool. Their sculpts are pretty good. And I've been meaning to do a big shout out for them, and I promised them I would, and so this is what I'm doing. I hope you don't mind, Jack. But they're called Creature Caster. You can find them on the web under creaturecaster.com. And yeah, they've got some seriously good-looking sculpts. If you're interested in a painting,
you should have made a request that you would show, like you are, as long as they join Amazing Plastic, because you know, guys, Amazing Plastic is at 773.
Actually, Chris,
and we got this started in August of last year.
I was going to say, my friend Chris, who owns the company, and his girlfriend Tony, who did the sculpt for me, they're already members of the group.
Oh, very good.
Yes, they're already members of the group, and they said that they were going to try and do their best to post something for us and that, to help us out and that, and even possibly get us a coupon code so that we can get some discounts off some of their miniatures. And they are beautifully sculpted miniatures. Chris Pandoff, not Pandoff, sorry. I keep forgetting his last name, but he used to work for Games Workshop. He used to work for their Forge World department, which do very beautiful models, and he just realized that he'd get a better profit margin if he did it himself. So he went into it and started doing it himself. And I promised him I'd give him a shout out. So there you go. There you go, Chris. He's gonna yell at me because I forgot his last name. So.
Well, you know, that brings up a subject, though. You know that, Danny. And I'd like to see what anybody else has any response to it, and that is resin kits. Now, of course, we have these two. You know, Danny showed, one set of people doing them, and Neil is doing them. Actually, he said he's going to send me a kit, and I'm really looking forward to seeing it, and I will most absolutely share it with you all and my reaction to it, because I've never done anything in resin other than add resin parts to a styrene kit. And you don't use model glue for it, you use super glue to do the two together.
What I tend to do is I don't super glue it at all yet. I pin it. I basically get the gist of the model's size from the instructions, and then I will draw holes in the kit and put little paperclip rods through it, and just literally hold it to do a dry run together to see if there's going to be any gaps filling or anything, and then I eventually apply super glue to the model, or 5-minute epoxy sometimes even.
Yeah, but I can't say I've never done a resin kit, and I am, like I said, really looking forward to it.
Well, the resins these days are much, much better than the resins back when I first had a resin kit. way back. I got a resin kit from at an old Star Trek convention, in the 80s, and that was the most miserable experience of my life, was dealing with that old resin. It was brittle. It would fall off. It would flake apart if you breathed on it wrong. And that really put me off of resin kits for quite a while, because I figured they were all like that. And
was it a Botany Bay kit?
No, it was an old bird. It was an old bird of prey.
Because I got the Botany Bay as a resin kit. That was my first ever resin kit, and it was the Botany Bay, and it was a pain in the ass to put together too, because there was all warpage and you had to reheat it and everything, and yeah. It
took a while for someone to convince me to try resins, but these days the casting and the moldings are so much more superior that I would sometimes I'd rather use a resin kit than a styrene kit. They hold up. They hold up a lot better if you drop them too.
Well,
they get so much more. They can hold so much more detail in the moldings than styrene.
Especially if it's a rotocast, kind of like what Steve Neal did for your Kirk. Because I've noticed rotocasted resin kits nowadays do hold a lot more detail than the solid resin kits.
Well, if you've ever gotten anything from Scott Alexander, any of his 2001 stuff, or his Botany Bay, but his Captain Cardboard stuff is tremendously well cast, and it's got a ton of detail cast right into it. But Jack, you would like to work with a resin kit, because the way that it's made, it's so much easier to light because the material itself is thicker, and you don't have to spend as much time light blocking everything.
Well, light blocking is the only thing I can do efficiently. I mean, come on, you're going to take my best skill away from me now?
Yes, I'm going to force you to get new skills.
But resin kits, comparing old to new, I would give newer kits a try without any sort of scaredness. An older kit, I would have to think twice about it.
Yeah.
Simply because, again,
scaredness?
It's not a word, but we let it go.
Yeah. Let it go, I'm English.
Most people call it fear. He calls it scaredness.
I call it scaredness. I don't know the word fear. What is this fear you're talking about?
Yeah, I don't know the word fear.
Yes. And because, as Lou said, and with me, with the older kits, they were just quickly put together in a garage, thrown into a box, and shipped out to you. And there was warpage, misfitting, things like that. These newer ones are done with like AutoCAD and all these other 3D art programs, and some parts are even 3D printed for you.
Yeah.
And they're all beautifully done, and then all you've got to do is just follow the instructions. Don't deviate, just follow what it says on the instructions, which is one thing men can't really do.
Well,
just look at IKEA. Why do you think IKEA makes so much money? But the point is, follow those instructions, and you will be smooth sailing.
One thing I'll tell you, though, is people who make garage kits, especially complicated resin kits, could stand to take a class in how to write instructions.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know something? I would go the IKEA way and just do pictures.
Well, that works too, but I mean, you'd be surprised at how many people, because they're so familiar with the kit, they know how it goes together. They don't feel the need to explain it to anybody else. They just show picture, and then the next picture is like, okay, what's the difference between these two pictures? Oh, this little part's been added, so I got to find that part and add it. I mean,
There was a resin kit company in England that when you bought a model from them, they did an instructional DVD.
Those are nice. And I got those from Randy Cooper does that.
Randy Cooper does.
And literally, you could just pause it whenever you want, rewind, go back, and it explains everything from prep. So when you first open up the box, this is what you get. Check your inventory, make sure everything shows in there. Then model prep, clean up, this, that, the other things you might need, things you might want to look at getting, things like that. And that's what blew me away was, again, looking at the old Botany Bay kit I had where it was like, the instruction manual was about that thick. If I rolled it up and smacked a dog on the nose, I'd kill it.
Yeah.
And compared to what you can get nowadays where it's interactive videos on YouTube or on their own website or a DVD gets sent to you. And it makes the whole process, it takes the fear out of it. And that's what I can't suggest anymore. When most people when I used to start doing models and say, "Oh, what about this resin kit?" I'd go, "No, thanks. Nowadays, it's like, well, we could give it a try. Worst case scenario, I've got some terrain detail. You know, instead of it being a spaceship, it's now a crashed spaceship. You know, doesn't matter.
To be honest, I've never done a resin kit at all.
Well, resin in Oz is a bit expensive, ain't it, mate?
Well, yeah, definitely. I mean, you can't. I haven't seen any resin kits down here at all, and the only ones I've really seen, they cost like anywhere from, believe it or not, nearly $100. That's the cheapest until about $200.
Really?
And it's not cheap at all.
No, they're not cheap at all. Not in Oz. I think it's because of the climate. You know, I mean, with resin, temperature is everything. If it's too hot, it cures too quickly. If it's too cold, it doesn't cure fast enough, or it doesn't cure at all, and it becomes this rubbery crap. And in Oz, it's very, very hot. You know what I mean?
Well, they're heading into winter, and winter isn't such a bad time in Oz. I mean, come on. No, I agree with you that the resin kits would be a problem depending on temperature, but really, resin kits is something that is not everybody can do. Not everybody can model. Not everybody can play football. You know what I'm saying? It's just one of those things that, and also the expense. The expense of resin kits are just outrageous.
We need Jay in here because Jay's like the resident resin king. You know, he can make anything out of resin. You know.
Well, he casts things. He casts molds and everything, and he's done videos on it on the Amazing Plastic Model Show. And I think his tutorials is pretty awesome. But that's far cry from making a kit. A kit is a hell of a lot more involved than just making a few parts for something.
Yeah, I know. I saw Steve Neal's Big E. I went back and watched the whole thing again, and on how he did his huge enterprise. I went back all the way to episode 1, and it showed you get him building the master and to get the molds built and stuff. And it just on that scale alone, you know, you can understand why he asks so much for that kit, because I mean, just in raw resources alone, you know, that covers usually 1/3 of what he's asking, you know, and the rest is his time, his energy, his effort to make sure the parts fit, and that when you get the kit, it's coming to you in one piece, not in pieces, you know, because you know some people don't know how to build a box, but you know, it can be like that, you know, and you just got to understand that sometimes people are worth that money. Their time is worth that money, you know.
And it comes with a fine set of markings.
Ah, yes. That's right. You was going to get one from Steve, wasn't you? One of those big enterprises, weren't you?
No, I do his markings for him.
Ah, okay, yeah, that's right. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Yeah,
I do all the pennants and the letter.
Yeah, you do the registry markers and everything. Yeah. I got to talk to you about having some Saratoga markings done up for my Reliant, because I was going to do it based on Cisco's Reliant.
Well, there certainly is enough resources in the community to have other people do other things for you, to put anything together, whether it be a scratch build.
We are the A team of the model building community.
I just wish there was a better way to vac form clear parts.
The way I vacuum form parts when I do canopies for like planes and stuff is I tend to just have my pegboard that I bought in my hardware store, my shop vac, and
it's not a very large table too. It's what, 8x10? It doesn't need to be.
Mine is about the same size as a 140mm fan. It's really tiny.
Yeah, it's tiny.
Because the canopies I do are only 1/72 scale, so I don't really need them that large.
You get the clear parts to be, you know, clear without any stretches in it or distortions in them.
Yeah, that is the true art of when it comes to the machine. Is because I took apart a couple of old toasters, took the heating coil elements and rigged them up in the top. So I just take the plastic up, count to about 15, and then shoop, done. One great big go. No, I don't. There's no pause, because I know some people just throw the plastic in the oven and then put it over. No. My heat source is literally right there above me. So it's just donk, 1, 2, 3. I usually have like a little digital stopwatch, and it's just boom, turn the vacuum on, and I'm done. Because you can't have it too hot, because if you do it, it'll actually melt the plastic that you're trying to make a mold of. And again, it's a balancing act, which is why sometimes I tend to just take a piece of wood and just whittle down the canopy size. and then just sand it smooth, and then copy off and have it as a wooden block and make several passes. So I've got several of the same canopy. So if one has a streak in it, if one has some webbing in it or whatever, I've always got a backup elsewhere. Do you see? And then the ones that are left over, I just put it back underneath the heat lamp. It melts them straight back out again and start again. You know, you save recycling the plastic, but you can only do that maybe 2-3 times, and eventually the plastic just becomes so mushy, you know?
Right.
It's no good. You just have to chuck it in the bin. But I see. I try to go green. I try to recycle.
Well, you know what? I'm actually very proud of something, and I wasn't able to share it earlier, and I want to share it now because I was able. Oh, come on, computer! It was my build, and you guys will get to see it. This is a picture, the only picture I posted on the community because I don't have it painted yet.
It's nicely lit, Jack. I'm not going to lie. That is very nicely lit.
Oh, I wanted to ask your opinion, though, because I really wanted to envision the D7 lit up the way it would have been on the TV show if they had the budget and the technology and the craftsmanship to do it. I lit the wings.
Yeah, that's an interesting take.
You lit the impulse engines.
Well, the impulse engines are on top, so you guys get to see actually I'm priming it right now, and there's a coat of Duplicolor auto primer.
Yay!
And it turns out I didn't mask the impulse engine, so I'll have to sand that off or do something. But you know what? There's another part that I just found that's not on here. There's these little rails on the side.
Yeah, the silver rails. Yeah, I put them on last.
Well, yeah, okay, that would work. If they're silver, that would work. I won't have to put that on. But I've got all tissues stuck in the holes here.
Yeah.
and this is, well, actually, this isn't tissue. This is cotton. This is cotton because they're here on the side too.
Yeah.
And of course, my openings for both the warp nacelles, the slots, I'll clean that up when I get to the paint part.
You had the same issue with that I have with my kit, where the neck droops.
No, it doesn't.
When you're gonna no. If you're looking at it at the right angle, the head is drooping a little, just a little bit. It's a problem with the kit. It's not you. I had that same problem. What I did was I took a
doesn't look droopy to me. What are you talking about?
I took a brass rod and put it through the neck just for extra strength.
I did that too, but I didn't do it this time. I did that too, and Christina has the model. I sent it to her.
Yeah, and I put.
And she took it apart. She says, "You put a lot into this." I said, "I know," and I really didn't need to because the kit's fine. I mean, I don't think it's drooping at all. I don't know. What do you guys?
What scale model is that, Jack?
That's the Klingon D7.
This is the 650 D7.
Yeah. Ah, yes. The bigger version of the smaller version that we now get.
Yes.
Actually, no. It's the same as the 18-inch Enterprise 650.
But yeah, mine had a really droopy neck problem, and so I just put a brass rod in it, and it sorted it right out. And I was actually able to run the wires through the rod, which was a lot better.
And the odd thing is, the reason why I'm painting it is because I have paint for it. I had purchased it from Boyd a long time ago, and this is the one color. It says D7. Can you guys see it, or is my camera not working?
I can see it.
Okay, and there's another one here. It's the base gray. And further, I bought the Katinga colors, and guess what I opened up today?
Katinga class.
On the heels of this build, I'm going to be building the Katinga.
Nice.
So I'm in the mode. Why not? Let's do it. And somebody made the rude comment saying, just because you defected from the Federation, now since you can't build a starship, you're going to build a Klingon cruiser. I'm like, yes, exactly.
Jack, there is no. Build whatever ships make. Build whatever ships make you happy. Okay. Trust me.
That is
Yeah,
correct.
but I end up destroying starships because I want to put so much into them.
Believe it or not, I end up destroying tank models because I want to put so much
Well,
into them.
you don't set your models in front of space heaters, do you? To have them dry?
I have in the past, yes. I have in the past because I was in such a hurry to get this layer of weathering I put on it to dry so quickly. I forgot about it. Came back.
Well, the other reason why I like spring, I won't have to use a space heater. It'll dry fast on its own.
They say space is cold.
Yes. It's even colder if you're trying harder.
Revenge is a dish which is best served cold.
But you can still eat it if it's warm.
Yes.
Okay, well, that's what I wanted to get to. That's what I wanted to get to show you. And I had to build my own base.
Mm-hmm. Nicely
Very
done.
nice.
The cartoon version.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice.
And this is actually...
colorful.
This was thrown together last week when Andy was around, and I just basically took a jigsaw to some Luon, and this is Luon. And I didn't... This is a funny thing. I didn't prime this thing, and I painted it with Vallejo, straight on.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's kind of cool. You can do that.
Yeah.
You just kind of vanished, went and picked up a stack of wood, and then 10 minutes later said, "Look what I've made."
Yep.
So when I do my electronics work, I have the Weller, I don't know, WPS 18MP. This is from Home Depot.
Mm-hmm.
And it has a light, and it's actually quite nice. And this is my second one. The first one wore out, and how would I put it? I dissected it and then took out, the plug in here,
Mm-hmm.
and I took out some of the LEDs that were in there, and the switch, and the power pack itself is 9 volts with a capacity of 2 amps.
Perfect. A 2-amp transformer?
Yep, and
Lovely.
there is the female on the base, and of course there's the wires, and of course the wires will come through, and I've already soldered it together last week before painting, and that was stupid. That's how I took the picture that you saw. That was actually running on the power pack. The
Nice.
picture that you saw.
That's going great.
So the tip of the day, or this program, is if you have a solder iron, and I don't want to buy the station, I think that's just overkill. This is actually a very good solder iron, but the tips to replace, because the tips on these do come off, but they cost as much as the whole thing together.
Yeah.
So just buy the whole thing together and just take apart the parts, and you can reuse them. And I think that one LED is a green red LED. You can use that.
Mm-hmm.
The switch is usable, and of course the power pack. So there you have it. If you're lighting models, start going through a lot of solder irons.
It's like those Mac 3 razors. The heads for those are about the same as much as a brand new one, so it makes you wonder how the hell they even make any bloody money doing that, But no, I know what you mean. Every time I get like a new router and my old one dies, I keep the power pack in case I can use it for a lighting model or whatever. You got to salvage what you can where you can.
Because my Enterprise that I built last year, that I just threw together, I built a base, a box. It's like a little treasure box that slides open. That's where the battery is. And I rarely have it lit because it's a battery.
Mm-hmm.
And when a battery starts wearing out, it starts fading the lights. It's not as pretty. And then, of course, you can't really use a battery anymore. And
But also, sometimes the battery will leak, so just be careful if you don't use it, because sometimes... especially, and that's the thing. I've had more batteries leak on me that are Duracell than I have any other brand.
Well, I just buy the generic ones. I don't even buy the brand names.
I just find it ironic though. It's like, oh, Duracell, the best batteries in the world. Yeah, for leaking. It's like you said, I ended up going to my Family Dollar. I bought 20 of these 9-volt batteries, $1 a piece, for the same cost it would to buy 2 Duracell 9 volts. And these things last me forever.
I want to ask the room here. Danny and I are channeling someone. Who are we channeling?
Steven Spielberg.
There you go.
Yeah, the Goonies. Yeah. Well, a friend of mine told me on Facebook that they're making a Goonies 2, and I was like, oh, really? I've always been a fan of Goonies. Goonies has just been a good. It's an all-round good movie to watch.
Goonies.
Which brings me to one build that ever since I was a kid, I wanted to attempt it, but there's not many reference photographs of it. It's the mothership from Close Encounters. I made the sucker like about 4 feet tall, you know, like the studio model.
You know, that would be so cool to see.
Oh,
You would
and with the existing technology, you can cover the bottom side with matrices and have a programmable underside.
Mm-hmm. God, that would be so cool. I gotta go watch that movie again today. Damn you, Jack. Oh.
I love Close Encounters.
Bad enough, I just got.
And to make it even more interesting, do what the Richard Dreyfuss character did, is put a mountain of mud in the dining room and create Devil's Tower. And there's your dining room is now, an entire room is now a diorama. Isn't that like awesome?
Not really, because my wife would kill me, especially when it comes Sunday.
Yeah,
We've got relatives
kill me too.
No, I'm sure there's people out there that will try to do that. After all, Richard Dreyfuss did it.
The thing that
he can get away. He can get away with it because he was in Jaws.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Yeah, we're gonna need a bigger boat.
The wonderful bit of trivia I always liked about his den in Close Encounters is that he had an Enterprise and a Klingon ship hanging from their ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
They were both painted silver, but they were hanging from his ceiling, and he ends up smacking them around when he's bringing supplies in for his Devil's Tower.
Yep.
And he had a model train set up.
That would be actually pretty cool.
I'm gonna have to go through my DVDs and see if I can't find it again just to watch it today.
Well, when you go for DVDs, look at the mothership, because I was researching to scratch build one, and if you look on the
If you want, I'll get some screen grabs and post them on the
I can
resources
send
page.
you my shots I took in Washington of the model.
Oh, that would be great.
Post it on Amazing Plastic.
Yeah, I'll put it in the resources section.
somewhere.
I was up at the Smithsonian last year and took some pictures of the.
Oh, really? Of the actual model?
Yeah, it's in the auxiliary museum. It's not in the one downtown.
Oh.
Did you know that Greg Nicotero, the special effects guy for The Walking Dead, is such a huge Jaws fan that he literally rebuilt the rear end of the boat from Jaws, along with all three of the main characters, and put it in his living room?
That would be strange.
And I mean, he went to Madame Tussauds and had them build the faces so that they look just perfect.
And you guys thought I was crazy about transforming a dining room into a diorama. And, you know?
I was like,
if I had the guts, I would turn my lounge room into the bridge of the Enterprise.
And I'm
well,
like,
that makes sense. That makes sense. The back of the boat draws, that's a little bit esoteric, but the bridge
absolutely. If you have pictures,
screen's a 50-inch TV. That could be the view screen right there. Just move the coffee table. It's like a captain's chair.
If you have pictures of the actual model, I would absolutely love it if you do have actual pictures of the model and screen grabs too. That would be actually pretty cool.
Yeah, when I watch it later on today, I'll try and get some screen grabs for you guys. I've got it on Blu-ray, so.
Yeah, that's you know what? I had that when you and I were talking earlier on private. I wanted to mention it, but I wanted it to be a surprise to even to you too. That we were channeling Spielberg. And you know, we are doing what we're doing. We're doing when it comes to sci-fi, we're doing everybody except for Spielberg.
Yes, which I think we should, because I would love to do I would love to do One Eye Willie's pirate ship.
Or better yet, the amusement park in 1941.
Oh, yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah.
But knowing me, I'd probably do like a
Jaws ship.
I still don't know how they got away with calling the character One-Eyed Willie.
Yeah, I know.
I would love to build E.T.'s spaceship.
You know what I might
He
do?
didn't have a spaceship. We never saw it.
What?
I might hit up my medical surplus store and get me a skeleton and make me a
We
one-eyed
only
Willy.
saw one portion of it. We didn't see the whole thing.
What's that?
E.T. ship.
Oh, hell yeah. We saw the whole thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I must have fell asleep at that point. I don't know.
Off at the end, it
I
landed
watched
at the
E.T.
beginning.
so
I
many
mean, yeah.
times, it's not
I mean, there was only a port.
You know what we could do? You know what? If we were going to do a Spielberg challenge, I've got to do a Jurassic Park thing. I've got to do a bit where the T-Rex is tearing into that Explorer.
Yeah, that would be actually pretty cool.
God, now I'm
Oh,
going to
yeah.
have to start hunting me around for a
That was
T-Rex
the
model.
other thing I wanted to show was Bill Tate's Borgs. He did a female Borg too.
Yeah, I
I
like
couldn't-
what he's
Yeah, I
done.
saw that.
You know what, guys? You just gotta watch. Every day I tune in to see what people have posted during the 24 hours I haven't seen it before.
Mhm.
And I'll tell you what, some of this stuff is like freaking outrageous. They're amazing, simply amazing. I wouldn't do it because I don't have that talent, but there's a lot of talent in this community. Very
Yeah,
much so.
I'm jealous of Randall's Viper. You know, that thing's
I must admit,
gorgeous.
when I first saw.
I'm serious. That Viper is seriously good looking, man. If it was a female and had a Mercury badge on it, I'd definitely date it.
Oh, here we go.
Nice.
Well,
Yeah,
I bet
Jack's
you much.
Jack's doing Vader's TIE Fighter, and
Yeah.
I actually have I finally got it from Otto. I finally grabbed it from him. I actually have the original Kenner TIE Fighter.
Yes, Otto told me that you went and got it.
Yeah, and I will be painting it up and weathering it up a little bit, and I do have some ideas for it.
You know, guys, I was telling him to cast parts, and there's his resin kit. Of course, I'll be violating copyright, but hey, he's not going to want money for it, are you?
No. And I've got some. I'm actually going to put some red pointer lasers in the front, so that when you angle it properly and take photos, you're going to see the blasters coming right out from it. And on the back,
Considering it's a toy, that's pretty big.
it is. And on the back, I'm going to put some red LEDs in there that are going to be flickering for the ion engines.
Ah.
And I even have me an Imperial TIE Pilot, which is going to go in there with some fiber optics and that, lighting up the dash panel and everything. So when you actually get up close to it, you're going to be seeing more details and more details and more details, and it'll get to the point where they'll be like, "Oh, I didn't notice that one before." Well, you're going to notice it now.
I was just saying before, you know, when I first saw Christian, he came and joined our group. I loved his Voyager, and his Enterprise D is looking pretty good too.
Mhm.
It's just something that I mean, to have the warp engines come up on the Voyager like that.
I have it right here.
Take no offense when I see this. We just need to move a little further away from Star Trek, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
But still, I mean, the way.
Late.
Mhm.
I mean, I appreciate, people showing you things about a build, a particular build, that's never been talked about before, but I don't know if I can, show off this, I'll show off finished pictures, but I'm not going to do videos of building it because God knows that everybody's built it already.
Ooh,
And
nice one, Andy.
what I'm working on with this is the combination of lighting and painting, and that's what I want it to be.
That's a scratch build, right?
This, Andy,
That's
hold
the
that up
rape.
again. Hold that up again.
That is beautiful, man.
That's the rapier from the film Wing Commander, and
There you go.
scratch.
Ooh.
There you go.
Nice.
Here we come, mothership.
That's not mine. That's just an image of a scale model for the film. But I am turning a BF-109 into a rapier.
Ah, okay, cool. Yeah, actually there's a couple of ships I've been wanting to build from some sci-fi games that I play. I play EVE Online, and there's the big Caldari mothership. I've been wanting to scratch build that. That thing's gonna be huge, though.
I've been wanting the one thing that I've been wanting to build, and I still can't get my hands on it, is the Buck Rogers Thunderhawk.
Oh god, that kit came
the
out in
one-
the late '80s.
Yeah,
that's the
no,
one Bob-
before I even
Bob
started
was
doing
doing. Isn't that what Bob was doing?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, but I know that kit came out in the late '80s. So yeah, it's going to be pretty hard to find.
Yeah, I know. You have to. If you find it on eBay, you're in for a bidding war.
Yeah.
Dead set.
Same as any original '70s Tamiya Tigers, because that's what they used for the Y-wing in Star Wars.
I mean, the thing is, you get the Corgi Buck Rogers.
Yeah, but that's
Buck Rogers.
Corgi. You know?
Yeah, but that's Corgi. It's die-cast. I want the actual model kit, and it's like so rare.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Jack, it's time to wrap up.
Yeah, well, before we do that, what does Lou have here?
Yeah, what is Lou? Oh, Lou's got the images.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, all right, yeah, load them up. We'll take a look at them. And without this is truly amazing. Amazing Plastic is amazing for many reasons. It's not just the builds that are being done; it's the people involved. Without you, we wouldn't have the community and the hangouts and all this fun. And I always have fun on Across the Pond. I won't tell the people Sunday night how much fun I have, but they'll probably find out by watching this video anyway. We have some sponsors of the community as well as the Amazing Plastic to Scale Model Show. And we're going to start with this, Danny. I'm going to start with Tennis Controls. Tennis Controls bring models to life. You can find them at tenniscontrols.com and also on eBay. Danny? And
we also would like to thank Vallejo Airbrush Paints. Without their support, we wouldn't have no paints put on our models. And you can find you can find them online.
Yes, and in your favorite hobby store and around the world.
Mm-hmm. And
to use that paint, Iwata Medea airbrush. You can find them at iwatamedea.com.
Mm-hmm. And don't forget, he's right here in the chat with us, but Lou's Aztec dummy painting masks, they're just superior in every way to any decal you can ever get. Let me put it to you like that.
And also the fiber optic store at fiberopticstore.com as well as on eBay. If you have all your fiber optic needs, will be taken care of by them. And that it, Danny?
No, you've forgot one. You forgot PM Hobbycraft. They're based out in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, and they're and you can just find them online at pmhobbycraft.com.
No, .ca.
Oh, yeah, correction, .ca, and we also have a promo code. And we won't tell you what the code. We won't tell you the promo code. You're going to have to find out the promo code by becoming a member of our community and checking it out.
Actually, you won't even have to do that because you can just watch the last 2 episodes of Amazing Plastic to Scale Model Show.
That
and
too.
the promo code is in those.
Exactly.
When you use the promo code, you will get 10% off of everything in the store.
Mm-hmm. Yep, not just kits, everything.
Everything, wow.
Everything past the kitchen sink.
And,
no, I believe if they sold kitchen sinks, that would be included too.
I'd like to personally thank Andy. It's always a joy to see your builds, and thanks for joining us today. And of course, the first timer here today is Christian. How you doing, Christian? And how did you like your first show?
I'm still having fun with you guys. It's really amazing to be on the Amazing Plastic. And then finally, my small little pointer. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. And of course, didn't hear much, but of course, Craig is always a joy to have. Your builds are actually pretty cool when you get away from sci-fi. Just the same for me. You know, I get away from sci-fi, my builds are pretty cool. And of course, Danny, with your experience and your gift of gab, your show wouldn't be quite the same.
Well, thank you.
And Heath, thanks for joining us. I know it's late. Get to bed. We'll see you tomorrow morning. It will be late in the evening for us.
Oh, it's only 10:30 at night. I'm all right.
Oh, okay.
Just give me another coffee. I'll be fine.
Okay, and without the importance of trees, James wouldn't be building models. But thanks, James, for your paper builds. They're awesome.
Oh, you're welcome.
And of course, now Lou is screen sharing some pictures of the mothership. And Lou, thank you for your sponsorship as well as your know-how. You're a pretty good modeler, I've come to realize, and I've learned lots of stuff from you.
Well, thank you.
And of course, Randall, it's nice to have you as well. And your builds are just the same as everybody else's. And it's good to see you alive and well and building models like the rest of us. I don't know. I haven't seen you very much. And this is your host, Scratch and Jack Holzer, giving you another episode of the amazing Across the Pond Hangout. Pardon me? Do I still have a voice?
Yes, you do.
Okay, I'd like to thank you all for watching. And keep on modeling. And goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Good night.
Goodbye, everybody, and good night.
Right.